Good morning, everyone. Dawn Blunt with Bright and Fire, and I have another book for you, and I'm excited about this book because it's something I wanted to talk to everyone about anyway. So this book is called Safe and Sound. It's a Berenstain Bears book. I am excited about this book because it talks about a few things that I've been thinking I wanted to talk to everyone about anyway because I've seen some things. So there are our friends, Brother and Sister Bear, wearing helmets, elbow guards, wrist guards, and knee pads. So we'll talk about that when we're done. So this book is really small and the writing is really small. So I'm going to turn the book and then turn it back so everyone can see the pictures. Brother and Sister Bear didn't like to just sit around all day. They liked to go outside and do things. One bright Saturday afternoon, they ran outside after lunch and hopped on their trusty skateboards. They took off down the driveway, headed for the schoolyard. "Just a minute," called Mama, running after them. "Aren't you two forgetting something?" She held up their safety helmets, knee pads, and elbow and wrist guards. "Oh, Mama," said Brother, "do we really need those? We're just going down to the schoolyard for a while." "Be that as it may," said Mama, planting the helmets firmly on their heads. "Better safe than sorry." "But Mama," complained Sister, "these pads and helmets are hot and heavy." "If you want to go skateboarding," said Mama, crossing her arms, "you're going to wear your safety gear." Brother and Sister knew better than to argue with Mama when her arms were crossed. "Okay, Mama." They both sighed, hopping back on their boards and heading down the road at top speed to make up time. But when they arrived at the schoolyard, instead of finding it full of cubs zipping around on their skateboards, they saw a crowd gathered around a big sign. The sign read, "No skateboarding allowed on weekends, by order of Mr. Honeycomb, principal." "Oh no," said Cousin Fred. "Why aren't we allowed to skateboard here anymore?" "Mr. Honeycomb said it's too dangerous to skateboard when the teachers aren't on duty to keep an eye on us," said Queenie McBear, who was always in the know. Disgusted, the cubs picked up their skateboards and headed for home. Sister and Brother trudged along, taking turns kicking a tin can down the road. Brother groaned. "What are we going to do now?" "I don't know," said Sister. "Do something else, I guess." "Like what?" said Brother. Before they could figure out a new plan, Too Tall Grizzly and his gang stepped out from behind the bushes. "Why are you goody two-shoes moping around?" he sneered. "Are you late for ballet class?" The rest of the gang laughed. Brother and Sister were too gloomy to get angry. "No, Too Tall," explained Brother. "They closed the schoolyard for skateboarding. Now we've got nowhere to skateboard on weekends." "No problem," Too Tall grinned. "We've got a place to skateboard." Brother and Sister brightened up. "Really?" they said. "Where?" "Our own private skate park," said Too Tall, putting his arm around Brother's shoulders. "Just step this way." Too Tall's skate park was jammed in among the tree trunks. "We built this ourselves," said Too Tall. "We've got the works. Jumps and ramps, rails and half pipes." "Wow," said Brother, "this is great." "Go ahead and try it out," said Too Tall. "We've got just one rule. No safety gear allowed." "What?" said Brother and Sister, startled. "That's right," said Too Tall. "Safety is for sissies." Doesn't look safe. Too Tall and the gang got on their homemade skateboards and hit the ramps. Brother and Sister hesitated. They could almost hear Mama saying, "Better safe than sorry." But Too Tall was entitled to make his own rules. It didn't take them long to drop their helmets and pads quietly in the bushes. "Whoopee!" yelled Brother as he zoomed off a hollow tree half pipe. "Geronimo!" shouted Sister, doing a grab as she shot up from an old stump ramp. Then Too Tall lost his balance on a twisty branch rail and went flying head over heels into a sticker bush. Kerflump! The gang all took a break to dig him out. How many fingers can you see? Asked Brother, holding 3 fingers in front of Too Tall's nose. 12? Guessed Too Tall, his eyes rolling around. Maybe you should take a break, Too Tall, said Sister. Nah, he laughed. I'm fine. Come on, you guys, get back to the ramps. Brother and Sister watched Too Tall trying to get on his skateboard. He wasn't having much success. They both said. Maybe it was better to be safe than sorry after all. Brother and Sister picked up their safety gear and sneaked out of the woods while Too Tall and the gang were bouncing off the trees. But they still had no place to skateboard. When they got home, they were down in the dumps. What's wrong? Papa asked. Why are you back so soon? Brother explained about the schoolyard being closed to skateboarding. So, where are you going to skateboard now? Asked Papa. No place, said Brother. Too Tall has a skate park in the woods, but he won't let us wear our safety gear, and, well, we don't think that's such a good idea. Smart thinking, said Papa, impressed. Now, I think I know how to solve this little problem. He went into his workshop and brought out some sheets of plywood. These ought to work, he said. What are you going to do? Asked Brother and Sister. We are going to build our very own skate park, said Papa, grabbing his tools. Yay, cried Sister and Brother, jumping up and down in excitement. Papa asked Farmer Ben if they could build the skate park in his unused back pasture. Farmer Ben thought it was a fine idea. Papa, Mama, Brother, Sister, and even little Honey all set to work. Brother and Sister were the designers, Papa was the carpenter, and Mama and Honey were the painters. Word of the Bear family skate park project got around the neighborhood, and before long, other bears showed up to help out. Soon, Farmer Ben, Grizzly Gus, Officer Marguerite, Teacher Bob, and even Principal Honeycomb were down in the back pasture helping to build the skate park. Farmer Ben's cows had a ringside seat. Looks fun. When the park was finished, it was decided that it would be the official Bear Country skate park. Mayor Honeypot himself came to the opening and gave a speech. He was almost knocked over by the rush of cubs trying to get in. Even Too Tall and his gang showed up. But the Bear Country skate park had just one rule. Safety gear must be worn at all times, even by Too Tall Grizzly. Like I always say, Too Tall said, better safe than sorry. All right, my friends, here's what I wanted to talk to you about. Since we're all stuck at home, I see lots and lots of kids when I go for walks, riding around the park around my house, and I'm guessing it's happening more than just here. And a lot of them aren't wearing helmets. And anyone who's been to my Kids Academy learned that even if we're just riding down the sidewalk in front of our house, we could trip and fall and get hurt. So my friends, it's very, very important that we put on our helmets at least. Now I know that maybe not everybody has all these safety pads, and if we get a scrape, it will hurt, but at least if we wear our helmets, we're protecting our brain, which is really the most important part of our body, okay? So if you're watching this and then you go outside to ride your bike later, I would love it if you would make sure you put on your helmet. And with this video, there should be a link for your moms and dads to look at the proper fit of a helmet. But really quick, I'm going to tell you a couple things. The helmet should sit straight across your forehead, and it should be about 2 fingers between the top of your helmet and the eyebrows, okay? So 2 fingers, and also if I have my helmet on my head and I look up with my eyes like this, I should be able to see the top of the helmet. And then there's that little piece that comes around our ears, and that should sit in a V shape like this, right by our ears, okay? And then the last thing is one finger underneath our chin. If there's more than one finger width, if we can do this, then our chin strap is too loose, okay? So 2 V, and that V should sit right below our earlobe, okay? And 1, 2V1, that's what we need to remember. So it's important to put a helmet on, but it's also important to make sure it's fit right. So I wanna make sure that everybody that's riding their bikes and scooters and out on rollerblades and things, that please make sure that you're putting that helmet on your head. Just like our firefighters do. They always wear a helmet when they, even just to get in the fire truck. Anytime they go anywhere, they put that helmet on their head. And then the last thing I wanted to remind you is when you're out and about, skateboarding or playing in the grass or whatever at the park, make sure that you're keeping your 6-foot distance from anyone that doesn't live with you in your house. Because then hopefully that makes it sooner that we all get to be back out and hang out with our friends and things like that. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And I hope you liked our book. And don't forget your helmets. And I will see you next week for another fun book.